This here is a Fuya persimmon, and I was gifted these, and they are so delicious. So you know what? I'm gonna make some jam, and I'm gonna make some vinegar. Let's get started. First, we're going to start with a nice clean fruit, and we're just going to get the middle out. I was trying the spoon method. It didn't work for me. I just rather use a knife. But what you want to do is take the top off, that core part, and then any seeds that are inside, you'll see those as you're cutting it. But you want to take the core part off, and then we are going to peel it. For the jam, I'm going to chop it into small cubes, and I'm going to leave the skin for my vinegar, unless it's bruised or really badly scarred. You don't want that in your vinegars. But as you can see, I did find a seed in one of them. It's really huge, so you won't miss it. But you do not want to make sure your seeds are not in your jam. So we're just going to peel it and chop it up. The good skins are going in this clean quart jar, so I'll be able to make vinegar during this process. Now, if you've never had persimmon, there are a couple of types, but this one is a Fuya. It's not like the American persimmon. Now, the American one, you pretty much have to wait until it's like fully ripened and almost beaten up, because it will leave a dry mouth taste. It's very astringent. This one, on the other hand, you want to eat while it's slightly firm with a little give, but nice and crisp. It's like biting into an apple. Like, you could really just bite into it just like an apple. So there are two types. This one you can eat really fresh. The other one is really used for jams or whatever, but I'm going to use this one for jams because this is what I have. But if you've never tried a persimmon, to me it has like a little vanilla flavor, but it also reminds me of like a mix of like a cantaloupe and an apricot. I don't know how to describe it. It tastes like another fruit that I've tried, but I can't remember off the top of my hand what it is. But I figure it's going to make a really good jam. The skin on this one was slightly damaged, so I am not going to use that in my vinegar at all. It's all going to go to the compost pile. So either it's going to go for vinegar, it's going to be the jam, or it's going to go in the compost pile. I'm going to use this whole entire persimmon. So we have our skins that are ready for vinegar, and we have the skins that are going into the compost pile. Now we're going to put the chopped persimmon in a pot, and I'm going to add about 1/3 cup of water to it, and we're going to start to boil this. We want to make it cook for about 10 minutes. And while that's cooking, we're going to start our vinegar. So I'm going to use a coffee filter, the ring for the jar, and I don't have a fermentation weight, so I'm just going to use a bag with water in it, and to keep the peels down. And I'm going to add less than, well, it's about 1/4 cup, maybe a little bit less of sugar. I did have some raw apple cider vinegar, and I did add a teaspoon of that later on. I just didn't get it on camera. So I'm going to add the sugar first and then the water. You do not have to stir it. You can if you want to. I just don't. You want the sugar to be eaten, so it's going to get eaten up in the fermentation process. But you want to make sure that you cover all the peels with water. And then I'm going to sit in the plastic bag as a weight. If you have a fermentation weight or something heavy to hold it down, you don't want any of it exposed because it will create mold. And then I'm just going to put the coffee filter on it because it's an aerobic process. So you need air, but you don't want anything getting into it. And I'm just going to use the jar lid seal band, whatever, that comes with this quart jar. And that's going to sit in my fermenting cabinet until it's ready to be processed. Next, we're going to get our jars ready. I am using my steam canner, so I am going to sterilize them in the steam canner while the persimmon is cooking. So I'm just going to let them sit in there until they are ready to go. And I absolutely love using a steam canner instead of a water bath canner because it takes way less water. Now that these have cooked and are getting soft, I'm actually going to go in with my immersion blender. You could do this step at any point almost, and you don't have to do it, but I want some chunks, but I want most of it smooth. I do like a little chunky jam sometimes, so for this recipe, I'm going to use the immersion blender to kind of get as many of the chunks down, and also to release a lot of that pectin. I'm not using lemon juice. You can use lemon juice about 1/4 cup, but I am using citric acid, and I'm going to use citric acid, and I'm using about 3.5 cups of sugar. Now, once you add the sugar, you're going to stir it in really well. You're going to let it dissolve for about 3 to 5 minutes. And then after the sugar is stirred in and dissolved and there's no big clumps of sugar, then we're going to turn the heat up. So first we're going to cook the persimmon for about 10 minutes. Then we're going to add the sugar, let that cook for about 3 to 5 minutes. And then after that, we're going to bring the heat back up, and we're going to get it to a rolling boil. Now, once it starts the rolling boil, we're going to sit here and we're going to watch it because we don't want it to burn. And it's going to cook for about 10 to 12 minutes at a rolling boil. This jam does not require pectin because the persimmon has a lot of natural pectin in it itself, so you're not going to need it. It's going to start to thicken up as it cooks, and then also as it cools, it'll start to thicken up even more. So now we have our nice hot jam, and we have our nice hot jars, and we are going to start to pour the jam into the jars to get ready to can them. You don't have to can them, but I am, and I'm going to do about, this mixture gave me about 8 half pints. Just going to ladle in with my funnel, my canning funnel, and I'm going to give it about 1/2 inch headspace. Now that our jars are filled, we're going to go ahead and wipe the rims. I don't think I debubbled on this one, but whatever, it's jam. So we're going to wipe the rims because they are going to be sticky. So I'm going to make sure we get a good seal and use some white vinegar and wipe them down. We got them wiped down. We're going to put our rings on, and they are going to go into the steam canner for 10 minutes. Now, the steam canner is warm, but it's not at its correct point. So we're just going to put them in there, crank up the heat, and we're going to, after 10 minutes, we're going to turn the heat off, let them sit for another 5, and then we're going to pull them out. Make sure when you're opening the steam canner, you open it away from you, because, baby, that steam is hot. And now that they're done, we're going to take them out, and I'm going to put them on a towel on the table for them to sit. They're starting to pop already as I take them out, so the lids are pinging left and right as I'm getting them out of here. But yeah, we're just going to put them and let them cool on the table for at least 12 hours. And there we have it. We have canned some persimmon jam. So with one fruit, we have something for our compost to feed on. We have half pints of jam, and we also have vinegar. I'd say that's a successful use of one fruit.